Hello fellow modelers and styling fanatics, welcome back to my channel. I hope that everyone is doing fine and enjoys the hobby. Concrete Bunker is back with another one of its notorious updates. Your host as always will be Split Personalities and Parallel Universes George. In today's episode, we work onto the Sd.Kfz.184 Elefant in 1 to 35th scale from Dragon and kit number 6126. Past George has managed to finish with the assembly of the wheels, suspension and apply some zimmerit on the lower hull. He even made us a tutorial for how he applied the zimmerit coating. So, before we see what exactly he has done, you guys know the drill. Grab a seat, make yourselves comfortable and crack the mandatory cold one so you can enjoy this update. Let's see what he has done. Hi guys, Past George over here for update number 1 on part 1 of our Elefant from Dragon. What you see in front of you are all of the road wheels on this side and the sprocket or the idler, I don't know yet. Anyway, as you can imagine, we have two different kinds of wheels. We have 6 pairs over here and 6 pairs over here. I have cutted them and sanded them, so I won't bore you. I'm gonna show you the assembly of 2 of each, and the rest of them I'm going to assemble them off camera. So let's grab our first pair, move these things aside so we can start. For the guys that are following along this build, don't you worry, even if you don't label the wheels, they have a big difference and you are not going to get confused. So you can see, simple as pie, you just line up the holes with the peg with the corresponding hole, and we have one pair of wheels ready. The same goes for the other one. One and one. Let me grab them. As you can see, this is one type and this is the other type. You can clearly tell the difference between them. One of them has this elongated hub and the other one has the flat hub. So we are going to need 6 of these and 6 of these, and let's move on to the sprocket or the idler. I'm gonna see and I'm gonna tell you. This part is kit, so you won't be able to mess this up. There is a corresponding hole over here. One over here and the other one. Nope. The other one. And we have, this is how the assembly of the wheels is going to go, and I'm gonna pause the video over here and I'll be back with the suspension system. See you later guys. Hi guys, welcome back to part 2 for update number 1 on our Elefant build. What you see in front of you is the suspension pieces. Now I have already assembled one type of suspension, or it is over here. It is those three pieces, and I have the other side over here. It's the exact same assembly. The only difference between them is the orientation, and you're gonna see that after I assemble this part. So you have to keep an eye on the suspension system, and I'm gonna explain you when I will attach it on the lower hole. Anyway, let's start with the assembly of this part, so you can see how it goes and you can see the difference. Let me move those parts to the side, and I am going to start immediately. So it is the same thing for every suspension piece. I am going to start with these two things, these two rods. As you can see, they have holes and pegs, so you won't be able to mess it up. Neither do I. You just need to be a little bit careful. Here we go. Now you grab this part and you have to line it up with a hole, so this axle can go through. No. And here we are. And now be careful, if you want the suspension to be movable, just apply glue only on this area, and not underneath. So be extra careful about that. Let me hold it in place for a couple of seconds so the glue can set. I am moving the part continuously, so I want to be sure that no glue has gone through it. And our last piece is this hubcap, kinda hubcap, that goes over here. Now let me show you. Once again, be extra careful with your glue application, because you want to keep this the suspension. If you want to keep the suspension movable, if you don't want, go at it. And our first part is easy and is ready, and here is the difference between the two different suspension parts I was talking about. As you can see, only the orientation changes. This one looks to the left side and this one looks to the right side. Now we need to make 3 of these and 3 of these. I have already made 3 of this one. I'm gonna pause the video, make 3 of this one, and I'm gonna be back to attach all of these parts on the lower hole. So see you in a moment. And we are back for part 3 on update number 1. This is the part I told you to be careful, because we are going to apply the suspension pieces on the lower hull, and you kinda have to mix them. I'm gonna show you what I mean. Let's start from the easy parts first. We need to apply these two, one here and one over here, these two parts on the rear. There is a location point. Parts are labeled with different numbers, and let me start. So here is one, in place like a glove, and let's start with the other one on the other side, on the opposite side. As always, I apply my glue sparingly because this is my motto. And like a glove, dropped in place. So now I'm gonna show you one side. Instructions state that we have to attach them like this, so one looks forward and the other two look backwards. Like this. Now let me apply my glue. As always guys, test fit your parts like I did over here. You just want to be sure not to make a mistake, because making a mistake in things like this will cost you. You won't be able to to undo the mistake easily. I cannot find the proper word. Go slow, take your time, make sure that you have read your instructions carefully. And we have one side ready, and all the suspension pieces are moving, as you can see. Now let's move on to the other side. So over here we have one that looks forward like this, let me see, yes, one that looks forward and the other two on the opposite side. Now, as you can see over here, there is a key and there is a key over here, so everything falls in place and it is lined up. That's nicely engineered from Dragon, and I have to tell that. My hair is falling off. And part 4 of the instructions is ready. Here is what you're supposed to be looking at: the suspension pieces and the lower hull. Onto the lower hull, sorry. give them a proper move to keep them moving, and that's it. Now let me see what I have to do on the next part and I'll be back. So, according to the instructions, part 5, 6 and 7 are attachment of road wheels, sprockets, idlers and the tracks. And because I always paint all this stuff separately from the rest of the vehicle, I'm going to deviate from the instructions once again, because it will make my life easier to paint them separately. Now I am going to attach what is necessary, and when I say necessary, I'm going to attach these parts that are not going to cause me any trouble when I will get to the painting stage. So let's start with these two pieces that go over here in the front. Let me move this. As you can see, there's a big hole and a smaller one, which they are needed to line up with this one obviously, and this small bolt, this small round peg over here. Now let me line them up and we go from there. Like a glove in place. Let me apply my glue. Now Dragon says that you need to line them up because we need to have these three bolts visible over here for the final drive of the sprocket or the idler. I don't remember, probably it's the sprocket. So you need to line them up so we can have this detail visible. Let's attach the other one. It should go here. As you can see, when you attach it, the gap is closing. If you're not in place, there is a gap, so gap closed. Easy as pie. And we have those two parts in place. Now let me move on to the front part pieces. Over here we have these two axles and these two mud guards. Anyway, so these two pieces need to go in this gap over here, one in this side and one on the other, and of course these two on the huge holes over here. Now let's start from the smaller pieces. Let me grab a tweezer. I hope that I was on frame. Anyway, I'm gonna do the next one on frame. Sorry guys, it is really difficult to assemble and record at the same time. Still difficult for me. Nope. Oh, come on. Here we go. Now let's see. Okay. dropped in place immediately and I was surprised. This one as well. And we have finished with the necessary parts. Now the step number 6 and step number 7 also include our first application of zimmerit. We need to apply zimmerit on this and on this side, and of course over here in the front. Because this will be my first zimmerit application, I'm gonna do this off camera probably, and I'm gonna be back to tell you what it goes as planned. Anyway, wish me luck guys, cross your fingers, your toes, your mud flaps, and I'm going to be back with my first zimmerit application. And I am back. Although I said I would complete the zimmerit application, I changed my mind, and after quite an experiment with the epoxy putty, I am ready to do a tutorial. As you can see, I have finished most of the zimmerit application. Let's see if my mobile can focus. Over here in the front and on this side. And now I have left this small portion over here that I'm gonna work in front of the camera. So what you gonna need? What did I use to be exact? Let's move the tank aside and I'm gonna show you what you are going to need. So first of all, our epoxy putty over here is the Tamiya. In my case, this one is the quick type. So you need your epoxy putty, you need your X-Acto knife, a round object, I use the end of my file, and something to create the pattern. I use the end of the tweezers right now because I found them to work fine for me. And the last thing, a jar of water, tap water. So here how the thing is, here is how you do it. Sorry guys. You grab a piece of your epoxy putty. It doesn't matter how much you grab. I go with small portions at first, just to be sure. So you go slow as well until you get the hang of it. Make sure that you grab equal parts from each color, because if one part is more, then the epoxy will be slow, or will be slow on drying time, and then you have to mix them. You need to mix them well, so the two colors will be like one. In this case of scenario, the somewhat yellow and white will make a base sandy color. So you will I'm gonna pause the video, mix this well together with this one, and I'm gonna be back when the epoxy putty is ready for application. Give me a moment. And I am back. As you can see, our putty has one uniform color, is this sandy one. Now one thing that you have to keep in mind, this thing is pretty sticky, so that's why we need water. If you wet your hands like that, then it's not gonna be sticky anymore in your hands. If you apply in whichever surface you apply water, this thing won't stick. Let me grab the tank. Let's grab a small portion of the putty. and now I'm gonna apply it to where I need to apply the zimmerit, of course. Now I am going to apply it like this by hand in the beginning, and I'm going to try to apply it as evenly as I can. Don't worry if you don't apply it evenly, that's okay. Don't forget that zimmerit is the thing that soldiers were applying on the field, so there is no possibility to find something uniform or perfect. So now I'm gonna grab the back end of my file, I'm gonna dip it in water, get it all nice and wet, and I am going to roll it on top of the patty to make it even more even. Push it around the corners and go slow. In general, you need to go slow with this thing and just be careful. Don't worry, you can always get this thing off as long as it hasn't dried at all. You have plenty of work time, so you won't face any problem. Now that the patty is almost evenly applied, what I do is grab my X-Acto blade, an old one, because you're gonna see why, dip it in water and score. You just have to separate the patty in sections, and you're gonna see why in a while. You don't need to go all the way, just score it a bit, as you can, like I do. Now don't worry for this part over here, we are going to remove it when we get there. As you can see, I have scored my all of the lines. They are not even, we don't care about that. And then I'm gonna grab my tweezers, dip them in water, and start the zimmerit application. I'm just gonna press them. You have always in mind that your tool is wet, because the patty is gonna stick on your tool and it's gonna cause you a problem. As long as it stays wet, you won't face any problem at all. Dip it in water once again and continue. It is easy as pie, and as you can see, we create a decent zimmerit pattern. And it goes like this until you reach the end. As you can see, it is pretty simple. You don't need to worry, you just need to take your time and be prepared. And here is what I am creating. Camera cannot catch it properly because I don't have any good lighting over here, but as you can see, it is relatively nice if you ask me. Now I am going to finish this. As you can see, it is finished. I'm going to remove the excess because we don't need it over here right now. And finally I am going to rescore the lines that I've made in the beginning. Make sure that you don't have any excess on top and on over here at the bottom. And here is your zimmerit pattern, simple as pie, an easy way with the tools that everybody have. I'm gonna finish this portion off camera and I'm gonna be back to show you the whole amount of zimmerit onto the lower hole. So I'm gonna pause the video and I'm gonna be back in a while. And here we have it, my friends, our zimmerit pattern applied onto the elephant. Here is how it looks finished. I have left these parts without any coating on purpose because we need to attach some pieces over here. Here is how one side looks. Here is how the front looks. I have damaged it on purpose. Some damage over here and some damage over here. I have done that before the patty dried with the use of my X-Acto blade. And here is the other side that I did off camera. Results are pretty convincing if you ask me, and I am pretty pleased. So now I'm gonna stop the video over here. This is probably going to conclude our first episode for the elephant, because this is surely gonna be a lengthy video. And here is what we have done up to this point. We have mostly finished our work on the lower hull. We have all the road wheels and the suspension system done. Now that's everything past George has to say about this this update. I'm gonna see you onto the next one. Bye bye, guys. And with all that said and done, we have made it to the end of this update. I hope you guys found it useful and stick along for the rest of the build. I also hope you like what I do here, and if so, you all know what to do. Leave a like, comment with your thoughts and opinions, share the video if you believe that it is deserved to be shared, or even consider subscribing for more builds to come your way. Until the next time, fellow modelers and friends, it was that Mofo Damon, signing out.